Hey guys, and welcome to Conversations in Queen West. I'm talking with Alex Carlin here in the office today, and we are going to be talking about some of the pain points that both buyers and sellers are dealing with in today's market. So yeah, how's it going, Alex?
It's hot. It's hot this week.
It's hot this week. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I've taken an obscene amount of cold showers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hot, but not complaining. I much prefer the heat over the cold any day of the week.
Totally. I take the heat over the cold any day, even with our kind of, people might be realizing, but like we're kind of having like apocalyptic weather out there right now. So
weird.
yeah,
I mean,
it's like
not weird. It's very sad. There's obviously fires going on
fires
in
are
northern Ontario,
leading to pretty bad air quality in our city that we're living in right now. So, but we don't mind having a nice little conversation indoors for today. Sounds good.
We were going to film outside,
Yeah.
but that was a big pivot for today.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, the air quality is just not good enough.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Okay, well, let's get into it. I have a question to kind of lead us off here.
Okay.
You know, something that we're seeing pretty often these days that buyers are asking when we're going out on showings. They might ask a question like, "Why has this house been sitting on the market for 60 plus days? Like, what's wrong with it?" You know?
I think we get this question all the time now because so many homes are sitting. And I kind of tell them the same thing, like it could be deficiencies of the home that are in the home inspection or visible to the naked eye. It could just not show well. Seller expectation is a big one. If the sellers are basing their pricing strategy off of their own sort of financial needs, that's never gonna be a win for them.
Totally.
Locations, some locations are a little more sought after than others. Also, we're seeing, which is weird because in the last decade that you and I have been doing this, properties with a basement apartment have been highly sought after to help supplement the income.
Good point.
And now people don't want to touch tenanted properties if it's an end user buyer purchasing for themselves. So some of those have been sitting. And then some pockets probably just have a little bit too much supply.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably, that's maybe even the most important figure. You always have to look at how much inventory is sitting on the market in a particular micro market. So yeah, like, I mean, us realtors, we look at stats like months of inventory in certain districts, but even further down, like if you're looking in a specific neighborhood where there's houses, like you literally check like maybe 3 streets to see how many houses are actually on the market in those 3 streets.
Yeah.
And if there's a lot, then that's kind of a sign that's like, well, what's going on here, right? And I agree with your point also about the separate basement apartments. Like any agent that you talk to these days, like they know it. It's just not an appealing feature to have like multiple units in your property anymore. People are looking for single family homes, well renovated single family homes.
If you got them, call us.
Yes.
Because we need more.
Those will still
get not enough good inventory.
Those will still get good money. Like those will sell in 7 days for a decent price, you know?
Yeah.
But it's the weird units, the funky layouts with like a slapped together basement apartment that are just like, what are we doing here, right? And at a certain time, it was like, oh, I can rent that out or I can rent it out on Airbnb. Like that was like always like rental income mindset from people.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's just not that appealing for whatever reason.
It's not, It's wild how like buyer mentality and needs change so drastically.
Yeah.
You know? So,
100%. Yeah. Biggest mistakes that you're seeing buyers currently make. Do you have anything?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, everyone is just trying to navigate the market and we understand that, but there are definitely some misses I find some clients are making. I think just looking online and not really getting out to see homes in person, sometimes it doesn't show the way it should in person versus online. It's better to get out and just kind of get a feel for what you like, what you don't like. And I think it's kind of a big miss to just be searching online and not physically getting out there. I think timing, I think I'm hearing a lot of clients that are saying, well, I don't want to sell first because I need to find the house I want. And it's just not coming up, which I totally can appreciate. But buying before selling right now is such a risk, depending on obviously what you're selling. But, you know,
we still see people do that too. And it's like a risky decision, right? People are buying properties before they have.
It's way more stressful for them.
Yeah, like I can't imagine. Like unless they really have like really a lot of extra cash.
100%. If you are
if you're rich enough to do that,
hold both. God forbid you can't sell your property, then you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you know you have to sell your property in order to buy property B, then yeah, you should be selling first.
Yeah,
So I think that as well.
My advice too, sell your property first before buying your next property. That's my advice. That's how I think about it. Everybody is different. I know that's a very common question that people ask in the industry. Should you buy or sell first? I'm on the side of sell first.
Oh yeah.
So that's
100%.
Yeah.
And then I think obviously not being pre-approved and like understanding what budget you're most comfortable in and seeing homes that are outside of that realm, like that's never a good thing.
Sure.
And then one other point that I wanted to make was shiny object syndrome.
Yep.
So do you want to break that down?
Shiny object syndrome is really, people always get attracted to the really nicely staged, perfectly Pinterest perfect properties, right? That's how I describe it. Especially the females. I'm just saying, when I'm working with a couple, the females are attracted to the Pinterest perfect properties.
Whatever, we are visual human beings.
Yes. Well, that's what it is, right?
And we can appreciate that, but I think what we're trying to get at here is if you are within a certain budget and that does not really allow you to go for the homes that are more turnkey, more renovated, then you're going to have to sort of bend a little and go for something that just needs a few cosmetic updates and whatnot. But you just got to be flexible. You can't just go after the shiny objects because everyone's going to go after them. Could be a bit more competitive. Could drive the price up.
And they're listed for $8.99.
Yeah.
The Pinterest perfect properties are always listed for $8.99.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, this is not an $8.99 house. This is a $1.2, $1.3 million house.
I know.
So yeah. That's it. What kind of things do you usually put in your offer when representing buyers to protect them? Maybe go over some of the common conditions. Many people may not know. So
yeah, I mean, in this market, we definitely have the ability to put in a lot of whatever we want, which is really nice.
Yeah.
The first 7, 8 years that we were doing this, how often did we put conditions in? Not very.
It's always like, oh, firm offer. You needed to do a firm offer.
Yeah, I bought my house on a firm offer.
And the listing agents always be like, we're expecting a firm offer. I'm like, well,
yeah.
F off.
Yeah, it's hilarious when they say today, oh, well, we'd like firm offers. And it's like, well, I would like pony.
Yes.
But
we are expecting a firm offer. I was like,
that's nice for you. It's probably not going to happen. Conditions are a thing. So definitely having a condition on finance if the client isn't fully sort of honed in on their finances and what that looks like and their numbers and whatnot. A home inspection almost always.
Yes.
Honestly.
On a house, 100%.
I mean, things are visible to the naked eye, but there's also things behind the walls. So it's good to kind of go in and take a look. If it's a condition, if it's a purchase on a condo, definitely status certificate review to make sure that the condo is in good financial health. Warranties and representations are super important, making sure that all the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, et cetera, is all in working order and that it survives closing. So there's a little bit of protection there. And that can probably be another video that we can explain, but.
Totally.
What else?
One of the more maybe complex situations that you and I both have dealt with when there needs to be repairs done on a property.
Yeah.
And so what would you advise if there was something say a $10,000 expense that came up that in the home inspection or you had to disclose something on a property that needed work, how would you handle that maybe as a seller rep, listing agent? Yeah.
So as a seller rep, I mean, always disclosing is super important. You don't want to have surprises later. No one wants to get sued. So it's important to always disclose for sure. And then I would say just working with the buyers to find common ground. I would probably immediately be getting a few quotes from a couple contractors just to see what this looks like, and then it's a conversation between the seller and buyer of what makes the most sense. Technically, the seller has owned the home for however many years, so these issues should, quote unquote, be the responsibility of the seller, but oftentimes it's best that you can work together on it and sort of meet in the middle. So if it's 10,000, maybe it's the seller pitches in 5, buyer pitches in 5, whether that's coming off the price or out of pocket. But finding that common ground that everyone's happy with and not just putting it on the other side, because it should be a win-win for both sides. And it's about getting the property to close, firm and then to close, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just say being super open and communicative with the
Totally.
other side.
Totally. It helps when both parties are cooperating
Yes.
on that.
We like cooperative
So yeah,
agreements.
I agree with that position of, yeah, like that's a great way to explain it. A bit more of an ideal situation sometimes, because sometimes we run into issues where certain buyers and sellers are not in agreement with how it should be handled. And so you have to always adapt to the personalities that you're dealing with when it comes to a transaction. Perhaps maybe it's best to just, if you're the seller, perhaps just give them a credit on the purchase price and let the buyer do the own work so that the buyer is satisfied that it's going to be done in their own way, so that they have more control over the whole situation. It just really depends.
Well, and everyone's going to be different too.
Yeah.
Like if I was the buyer, I would want to do it myself because
Yes.
I would want to have control over who's coming in, who's doing the work, et cetera, et cetera. But by not having the seller complete it before closing, so obviously having that language in the agreement to protect you, you run the risk of, if there are further issues, it's going to be hard to negotiate that after closing with the seller, right?
Agreed.
Because they're pretty much just contractually obligated to do X, Y, Z that's in the agreement. So it's pretty case by case.
Totally.
Right?
And we should also say that like these types of situations that we're talking about, they are more advanced, more complicated. Like a new realtor will not be able to navigate these things as well. Like we've experienced these things, and that like we have custom clauses that we use, but we would even run it by our own trusted lawyers to make sure that we are structuring the clauses properly to protect our clients. So these are only things that you really can know from experience.
ChatGPT
Yes.
is not a lawyer.
ChatGPT is not a lawyer. It can be a starting point.
It's a starting point.
It is
I've done
always,
that.
it's
I've
research.
written it up in chat, and
Yeah.
then I take it to my lawyer and I say, does this cover us? Is there any sort of liability here? But yeah, don't just solely go after
Yeah,
it.
you can start with chat, but then eventually you talk to your lawyer. Just the lawyers are good. You just send them the clause that you're thinking about in email. They'll take a minute to look at it and they'll point out what are the faults, what are the benefits of that clause. So
Yeah, totally.
that's it. I have a point about it waiting for a unicorn property on the market. So this is a concept that has come up in just, I guess, realtor vocabulary.
Well, I think this was along the lines of what we were chatting about yesterday, which is things we probably shouldn't tell buyers. And this was that ultimately your biggest competition isn't other buyers.
Yes.
Right? So it's having unrealistic expectations.
Right.
It's waiting for that unicorn property, trying to time the market perfectly. Nobody can do it. Nobody has a crystal ball. And passing on really good opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, like, I mean, I am pretty straight up with my clients when it comes to just like their expectations. And I'm like, I help them really understand early on, like everybody has a budget. And so I give them a picture of what is realistically in their budget. Of course, like I'm still trying to find them the best property possible, but also at the same time, I even say straight up, like the perfect property doesn't really exist. Even if you had like a $2 million budget, there's still going to be compromises on that $2 million
100%.
house, right? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like the light is not perfect in this bedroom, or like, oh, like the privacy in the backyard is not ideal. Even for $2 million houses in Toronto, like we see all of these like little compromises at a high budget that people still have to compromise on. But yeah, my point is, you can imagine like when you have a $900,000 budget for a house in Toronto and trying to manage your expectations, because $900,000 is a lot of money.
It's a
to
lot
anybody.
of money, but this isn't, we're not in Cleveland, Ohio, or you know what I mean?
Yes.
Where my point to that is like the entry point into the market in other places is a lot lower than here.
Yeah.
And so your first home here is not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But if it meets most of the needs and wants, if it checks most of the boxes, it's your starter home, you get in, you build, and then you move on to something that's a little more conducive to your family growing or whatever it is. But your first home, you just need to get in and start building and go for something that has good bones, is in good shape generally from a mechanical and fundamental
Structural.
standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When people ask you that they're like looking for deals, like how, I guess my more direct question is like, how do you look for deals actually? Like, I mean, when it comes to like sifting through listings, like do you have any strategies that you kind of think about when searching?
Yeah, I mean, obviously days on market being probably 45 day plus.
Yeah.
There's still quite a bit sitting there.
I would even suggest actually sometimes
Deal fall through.
But yeah, like so days on market would be my first step. I sometimes, if I know a house is in a good neighborhood, but the photos are bad or the
Yeah.
marketing looks bad,
Yeah.
that kind of triggers me to be like, maybe I should like investigate this one further, at least take a look at it, right? You
Well,
know
and
what I
this
mean?
is the part of the issue with shiny object syndrome for
Yes.
buyers, right?
Yeah.
Some of the best deals don't look like deals, right? They have bad listing photos, poor marketing. They need quite a bit of work. And these are listings that will scare away a lot of casual buyers.
They are.
But, you know, there are deals to be had. And until you go see it and get eyes on it and take a look at the home inspection and all that, you don't know. Like, it could be the house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, agreed. Like you can't be afraid of dated homes. I know some people they wouldn't even consider it, but I would say, you know what, like dated is not that big of a deal.
No.
Structural issues, sure. Like if you come across those, sure, that's more of a serious issue. But if it just has a dated kitchen or a dated bathroom, I'd still consider it because to me that's going to be a better deal than a house that's perfectly Pinterest perfect.
Yeah.
You know, so if you are looking for a deal, just listen to your realtor's advice on like how to sift through those deals and what are the stats, what are the photos that we look for in those types of properties. So yeah.
You want to know what's another thing that we shouldn't tell buyers?
Tell me.
That we would rather talk them out of a house instead of into a house.
That's a huge one, actually.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, at the beginning even of doing showings with a particular client, I will probably be more likely to say what's wrong about the house rather than the positive features because I mean, first, like I am building trust, like I'm showing them my knowledge of like what I look for and like pretty much when they're looking at the nice kitchens or bathrooms upstairs, like I'm in the basement kind of looking at what is the foundation like? Are there moisture issues, you know, or is there mold, right? Like that's actually what I am doing and my clients see that I do that for them as well. So yeah, like I that's my job.
100%. I mean, I think you and I both similarly are building very relationship-based businesses. And so having that relationship for years to come and being the realtor for that family and their friends and being referred, like that means a lot to us. So I think it's more important for us to be talking you out of a deal because we think this is not the house and, you know, we don't want you to have any buyer regrets over talking you into a deal. Like that just, that's a surefire way to never have a client come back to you, I think.
I think that's definitely a surefire way.
Oh, you said, how else do I find deals? Let's go back to that. So, I mean, door knocking, which we did this week in 45-degree weather.
We did it yesterday, and it was the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what? High five.
Yeah.
We did so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad we did that. But yeah, finding it off market as well, looking at the expired listings that have not come back to market to see if you can get in touch with the seller or the previous agent, see if they're coming back to market, see if they'll sell it off market.
That's a good point. What you're saying about off market is true. Like, I mean, you always try to find what is something that your buyer can't find. And so I think you're doing all the right things in terms of like looking at suspended or terminated listings or whatever it may be, Realtor network, like Facebook groups,
100%.
WhatsApp groups, right?
Yeah,
There's a ton of information.
Huge networks. Like I know there's one group, well, our Royal LePage group alone is like over 1,500 agents across Ontario, mostly Toronto, but across Ontario. And then I think we're a part of a few other groups that have tens of thousands of agents in it. So there's definitely some opportunity to find stuff in there as well. And honestly, just having conversations with other agents that are in it every day like us. When we are making these calls to speak with agents about their listings, I'm often like, hey, you got anything else coming up? Like, what else do you have for sale right now?
Because we know the more, I guess, the listing agents that are like dominant in certain neighborhoods where they do get a lot of listings and they might have something that's coming up that your clients missed out on that could be perfect.
This one mistake is costing Toronto sellers thousands, and it's pricing based on your financial goals instead of today's market.
Pricing based upon your financial goals instead of today's market. Agreed, because, well, buyers don't care about your financial situation.
Cares. Not nobody cares. That's insensitive.
We care.
We care.
We care, absolutely.
We care.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's not how the market works. It never has been. And I think some people are in financial distress right now. And so they are demanding a certain number, but that actually hurts your listing more because you get stale. And you don't dictate what your home is worth. It's going to be the buyers,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
So,
and I'm a data guy, so I always point to the data. Like, what are the comps telling us? Is there any supporting data to support the price that we're asking for our home?
yeah.
This is critical, because if you can't support it with any stats, then you're not having any basis to come up with a valuation. So don't just come up with a number. You got to look at, like, what are people actually willing to pay for your home, and then even in this market, depending upon where you are, the buyers are still going to negotiate down, right? So
100%.
Yeah.
And like, you know, some sellers, they'll hold out for 50,000 just for an extra 10, right? And you risk so much by doing that.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to possibly lose the whole offer.
Yep.
They might walk.
Yep.
Like, there's things you can do to kind of mitigate this, but yeah.
Yep. And don't overprice, because
Don't overprice.
overpricing, it's just going to sit on the market and you're going to have more price reductions, and then it becomes a stale listing.
Yeah.
We don't want that for you. We want a
Yeah.
quick and easy process to sell the home. So
100%.
that's it. That's pretty much all the questions I got.
That's all I got too.
Okay. So should we wrap this up today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening to us, hanging out at our office in Queen West with us, and we will see you on the next one.